J. Cole Birthday Blizzard Freestyles, hosted by none other than DJ Clue. Where do I even begin with this, man? Where do I even begin? Fall off on the way, guys. At the time of recording, we are 6 days away from the fall off. And that, honestly, considering how long this guy's been teasing this album, considering all the times he's mentioned it, he's teased it, all the anticipation built, all the drama he's been involved in, obviously with the beef, which has been addressed thoroughly in this pack of freestyles. We are finally 6 days away. That is so crazy to me. And the closer it gets, the more nervous. I'm more nervous than excited, actually. Obviously, I am excited, but I'm nervous. I'm sad because obviously this is gonna be his last album according to him. But let's talk about these freestyles right here, man. This guy took 4 of the most iconic historical beats in hip-hop history with Biggie's Victory, with Biggie's Who Shot Ya, with Black Rob and the Lox's Can I Live, and none other than Power and Respect by the Lox, which Jadakiss did mention recently in an interview that, guys, J. Cole rapped on the Power and Respect beat, and let's just say he's coming with heat. And man, that is an understatement. Understatement, in the words of J. Cole, in the Lakers freestyle. And, you know, this is the same excitement times 10, honestly, that I had when he dropped that Lakers freestyle, when I think that was even a week before as well. A week before or 2 weeks before he dropped the off-season. And the hunger that he showed on that freestyle, ridiculous. And now we're on these freestyles right here, and the hunger, the raspiness in his voice, you could hear he's hungry, he's angry at times, and he attacked these beats like, man, this guy is rapping at the highest level right now. He's rapping not only the highest level of his own career, but I think in 2026, and I think I've mentioned this before, if I haven't mentioned it, but I'll mention it now, I think in 2026, at least for the mainstream picture, I know some people will come in here with their underground rappers like the likes of Ka, A$AP Rock, which I'm not really familiar with them anyway. They'll come with, no, J. Cole's not out, he's not out rapping those guys. But for the mainstream picture and for the rappers that I'm personally exposed to, I don't think there's a singular rapper right now in 2026, right now in the active age, that's out rapping J. Cole, honestly speaking. I genuinely do not think there's anyone out rapping J. Cole. And I can already see the comments coming regarding his apology and him ducking Kendrick Lamar, of which I don't think I've ever explicitly talked about the beef and how I feel about it, even as a J. Cole fan. Well, obviously, because I wasn't a content creator at the time of the beef and at the time of the apology. I only started content last year. So I don't want to be that guy dragging the beef in big 2026, as much as I will find any opportunity to talk about the beef, honestly. It's such a historical moment, and we lived through that. But now I'm going to use this opportunity to express my feelings about how I feel before getting into these freestyles, right? Because, look, I am a massive J. Cole fan. Massive. He's my second favorite rapper. Joined first, if anything, along with Eminem. But he's one of my favorite rappers of all time. I've mentioned this before. But at the time of his apology, that was almost my 9/11, lack of a better term, but that was my 9/11. That was my canon event in regards to me being his fan. Because honestly, especially listening to a pack, like a 4-pack mixtape like this, and listening to how this guy's been rapping over the years, I genuinely think J. Cole has the tools, or had the tools, to take on Kendrick, and, well, Kendrick in this case, but he had the tools, man. And I have my own opinions as to, you know, the whole apology, because I can be objective, right? And I don't want to be yapping about this, because I do want to talk about the actual freestyles. But I don't want to be assuming for the guy, but I just think I don't fully buy the reason why he ducked out. I don't fully buy, even as the biggest J. Cole fan ever, of which I do buy him feeling not easy, because even with 7-minute drill, and I've talked about 7-minute drill, saying that, you know, you could hear that even what he's saying, he's not even saying it from the heart. He's just taking things from public perception, you know, the likes, you know, that whole angle of T-Pab, saying that T-Pab put people to sleep. I've heard that take before. People have been saying that. Like, there is a section of fans that do say that. So I think he just took what he thought the public would want to hear and run with it, of which it's not true. T-Pab is one of the greatest rap albums of all time. It didn't put people to sleep. There's a section of fans that it put to sleep, because there are certain sections of fans that think it's boring. There are certain sections of fans that hate anything, you know. There's certain sections of fans that hate 36 Chambers, you know. So But I genuinely think what J. Cole was rapping about on 7 Minute Drill, he didn't believe it. He wasn't in it. And I also have this angle that I genuinely think because of the reception of 7 Minute Drill, the reception of how people like responded to it is what really made him apologize. Amongst the reasons that he stands by saying that it was not his place and he could see where it was going. I do see that, but I genuinely think had the reception been a lot more positive, I think he stays. I think he stays in the beef. I genuinely think, but because of the reception, I think him on the way of dropping the fall off, I think him losing a rap battle would have put such a stain in his name. But I think the apology in itself is a stain. I would have loved to see how it would have panned out. I would have loved to see how it would have panned out. That's my opinion on the whole beef. But enough with the beef, enough with the apology. Let's get into this. This guy, man, where do we even start? The Joey subs, the Simba subs. And guys, am I reaching by saying that he subbed Drake on this? Even Kendrick. Am I reaching? But we'll get there when we start analyzing the lyrics just a bit more. But am I reaching? But getting into Bronx Zoo freestyle firstly, where he raps over the victory beat, where we can already see the Simba shots, where you can see that it is a double because Cole used to go by this term Simba, like for the longest of time in his early career, where he was addressing himself as Simba, you know, Simba, Grown Simba, Return of Simba, that series. But this is a clear shot at Simba, who took direct shots at Cole after the apology. So he uses this to go at Simba, where he says, young Simba, some threw hate my way, but only thing they should say is, Cole, you're like a father to me. Of which Simba called in on the Rory and Mal podcast, and he addressed this line. He was like, oh no, Cole is not like a father to me. He's more like a cousin. He's more like a cousin, of which that's so disrespectful. And then I like the whole Asian rapper scheme where he says, truly I'm aging backwards, which Cole has alluded to the whole aging backwards Benjamin Button scheme, but in this case, he uses the whole aging backwards, and then he comes back to say the K's pop like Asian rappers, K-pop Asian rappers, the K's pop like Asian rappers. I thought that was a very clever flip. And you know, Asian people are synonymous with, you know, them not aging. So that is a scheme connected definitely within that. But yeah, I thought that was very clever, very, very clever scheme right there. Then we get to the Golden Goose freestyle where he raps over the Can I Live beat by Black Rob featuring the Locks. And man, this is where I think he takes some shots at Drake and Kendrick. I may be reaching. Yet again, take this with a grain of salt. But the whole thing about For Crumbs, dumb sold his soul to Lucian. Dumb nigga sold his soul to Lucien, and Lucien, you know, Drake has always been bringing up Lucien, and obviously Lucien being such a prominent figure within Drake's career. And then, okay, that may be a reach. He could be redressing anyone. And he does say dumb, which it's multiple people, so it's shooting in the air right here. But then he comes back just a few lines later and he says, if I said it, then I wrote it, stupid. Coming back with that scheme again, just off the whole Lucien line. Ghost Riders, Drake, yet again, could be shooting at anyone. And then now, where does this connect to Kendrick? The whole line about bots. The whole line about bots where he says, when the math ain't mathing, of course he juicing. That mean the bots is boosting. Cut the tough guy image. It is not conducive to breathing. Could be reaching. But the whole bots connected to Kendrick, the whole K-bot thing. But anyway. And he did bring it up on Port Antonio as well. So, but it could be a little breadcrumb. I could be reaching. But then you get to the part where he says, word to Mike Vick, your dog might get shot for losing. And I just think that's extremely clever. You know, Mike Vick, his connection with, you know, dog fighting and all that. But the whole Michael Jackson flip with Drake, alluding to himself as Michael Jackson, your dog, for all the dogs. Hey, I'm reaching, I will admit. Then you get to the Winter Storm freestyle where he raps over the Who Shot You beat. And man, my favorite bit of this has to be the whole Mike Jordan and Edwards flip where he says, no man that's rhyming can match my fluidity. I'm Mike Jordan and Edwards, nigga, you kidding me? Mike Jordan and Edwards, you kidding me? You know how people have always joked around saying that and Edwards is the son of Michael Jordan because they look alike. You kidding me? Mike Jordan and Edwards? Crazy, man. Then we get to the 99 Bull freestyle where he raps over the power and respect beat. And I just love the energy that he portrayed, especially right at the end where he's saying the fall off is dropping 2-6. Stop asking. I want to thank God because I almost lost passion. And then later on, he just randomly says, I'm pissed because the Knicks could have hired Mark Jackson, which is so real, man. So real. But man, these freestyles, absolutely elite, man. J. Cole is on another one. fall off on the way, man. I could not be more excited.